This $50 phone will enable a smallholder farmer to lift herself out of poverty. It may be the most single, life-changing possession she ever owns because it transforms her into a small enterprise. Having a digital identity and a means of tracking what she produces also enables her to become a valid recipient for loans, credit, and part of financial community. The most important challenge in the world today is eliminating poverty. It's number one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals for a very good reason. Because while 1/3 of the world still lives in poverty, we might be unable to address the other big challenges like food security, deforestation, climate change. They are all connected. Of those in poverty, the vast majority work in farming, fishing, or are part of their remote communities and their food supply chains. And good organisations, like most of you here today, are addressing trillions to address this very important issue. But we all struggle with the one big challenge. It's connecting with people in remote rural areas efficiently and effectively. And that's what my company does. We connect good organisations with those last mile users. Because you cannot solve poverty without addressing financial inclusion. And you cannot solve financial inclusion at any sort of scale without technology that is relevant and useful to the people you are giving it to. So a bit over a decade ago, the iPhone changed the world for most people like us. They gave us convenience and entertainment in our hands in a way that was previously unimaginable. But they didn't help the poor. A modern smartphone might cost as much as a year's income. And as much as farmers might enjoy Facebook and music and YouTube, as much as we all do, those things do not help them work, earn more, or feed their children. If you want to transform the lives of these people, then it must be with a technology that is relevant to them. It needs to help them do the very basic things that they do on a daily basis in a simple and intuitive way. Ordering inputs, renting equipment, selling produce and getting paid for their items. The most basic one is just basic record keeping, something that we in most countries have taken for granted for 100 years, that we forgot how important that really simple thing of an accounting system is. This is the single biggest opportunity in the world. There's 2 billion people, which represents 500 million farmers, most of them with no access to credit, and most of whom can vastly increase their income and productivity with the right tools. But you can't just give a smartphone to a farmer who's never had one before and expect it to be useful. What made iPhone such a game changer is how it was relevant to the things that we do every day. Quick exercise. Put your hand up as quickly as you can remember the answer to this. Who knows how we booked a hotel 20 years ago? Hands up if you remember it. This is how much things have changed. It hasn't changed for developing world farmers. They still do things in the very basic way. And this is exactly what we need to do for the low-income farmers of the world. Give them something that's relevant and changes the things they do on a daily basis. And so the solution needs to be easy to understand and solve also the major technical challenges in their area, such as a user experience for people with low literacy that may have never owned any technology before in their life. Working around the poor connectivity challenges in remote regions and securely recording transactions to improve trust and cooperation. And finally, you need a cost-effective way of deploying and supporting in remote regions so you're not going out to support a couple of individual users. So what farmers really need is some sort of a super app where everything works together in the same way, not dozens of different applications that all do little parts of the puzzle and needing them to struggle with separate passwords and separate applications and keeping everything updated. Look, even I struggle to keep everything on my iPhone working. Imagine how difficult it is for a 60-year-old farmer who's received his phone for the first time in his life. So we built our platform a little bit like an app store in reverse. We encourage others to migrate solutions onto the platform so we can integrate with others and all work together. And all those other applications can build their own communities on the platform. Thereby, once a community builds relevant technology, it becomes more and more compelling for others to use it. the shop, the jeep driver, the doctor. It builds and connects entire communities. And by encouraging others to build and grow their communities, the whole system links and works together. For our users, what's important is that it's simple to use and solves their daily needs. But our actual customers are the organisations that need to connect with those last mile users, the sellers who need a more efficient way to provide products and services at scale and solve the means of collecting payment. The commodity buyers that want to trace produce or buy ethically or improve the quality and show origin of goods to their customers. The NGOs that are already investing millions of dollars and need greater transparency of the impact that their projects are having. And most relevant to this panel, the banks, insurance and microloan companies that need a better way to connect with those last mile communities. Forbes thinks this is a $100 trillion opportunity. My background was in global investment banking, so it doesn't surprise me that banks see this as the last great frontier opportunity. But after spending the last 3 years working with very small communities of low-income farmers, I think the way most are approaching it is dead wrong. Taking advanced technology and making it accessible might be an easier way to do it. Like you're taking a modern farmer system and bringing it down. It might be the easiest way, but it's the wrong way because it excludes the very poor. You're giving middle-level farmers better technology and giving them an advantage, whereas the poor, the very small scale and the illiterate get left out by that. It creates a bigger gap between the haves and the really have-nots. And so instead of moving the technology down the pyramid, let's try to do the reverse. Instead, let's address the very basic needs of the very bottom of the pyramid and then slowly make it more powerful and more functional and add more features. And that way we bring everyone up to a solid level. And this is the key to making this a good opportunity for the financial service providers as well. Because once you organise the very small farmers into groups or cooperatives, then the banks and financial service providers can deal with them effectively as a group. So we didn't reach out to banks. We were presenting this at our agricultural solution at conferences very much like this one. And we had banks come up to us and say, hey, could we roll out mobile banking in remote areas by this? And there's still a bit to do. It's complicated to roll out mobile banking, but the simple answer is yes, we can. And by us focusing on the farmers' real needs, we'd inadvertently solve the big challenges that were impeding financial inclusion for the very last mile. And the banks we've spoken to really love the idea because their model is that you open an account with us and we'll give you this awesome phone for just $50 and it's got all your ag tech needs on it, it's got your banking, it's all locked down, it'll automatically be updated, it's all in one package. You don't need to figure out how to use a phone to become a member of our bank or the cooperative. So whether it be financial services or anything else that can improve the lives of farmers, we're here to help connect with the last mile users. Thank you very much for listening to me. And please come and see me or Thomas if there's any way we can help you.